Hey, welcome back to Meg's Cardboard. I'm doing something a little bit different today. Obviously, I'm still going to do a Rainbow Hunt episode today, but I'm going to open some booster packs as well and tell a couple of stories about how I got into Pokemon and where all that sort of started. But I'm going to sort of tell that story through some of my VHS tapes, and then at the end by showing the very first card I ever got for Pokemon. So the reason I'm still opening Astral Radiance and stuff like that is because I'm trying to collect all of the trainer galleries. And with how expensive Scarlet Violet is and Mega Evolution, sometimes financially it actually makes more sense to open some of the older stuff since you're going to be spending too much for packs anyway. At least in my mind, that makes sense. But yeah, I pulled some of my VHS tapes out of my collection, mostly ones that have some sort of sentimental story attached. So between packs, I'll just go through those bit by bit. And hopefully today I can pull a Trainer Gallery card I need. That is not a Trainer Gallery card, that is a Togekiss. And that is a Regirock non-holo. Okay. So the next thing I have is this. So it's actually one of the more recent VHS tapes I got. I don't know if the sticker says when the sale was. 29th and 9th, so it was in September-ish, but I don't know when specifically. But the idea was, when I was a kid, we didn't have a TV, and I'd never seen the Pokemon show. The first thing I got into was the video games. Soul Silver specifically, once I was allowed to play video games. So even though I was alive and around when it first started, my first exposure was seeing this movie at the cinema, which my girlfriend at the time dragged me to, and I really enjoyed it. So when I saw this VHS tape for $2 at a cash converters, I bought it because it kind of reminded me of that memory of the first time I saw anything from the Pokemon anime. But yeah, I have another Astral Radiance pack, and then some Silver Tempest, and so on and so forth. But yeah, I was surprised how much... Oh, that's a bad code card. I did a mischief. Doesn't mean I can't get something from the Trainer Gallery. But I will move the rare to the front as well, since we know that's going to be nothing. But I actually really enjoyed the Pokemon movie. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it when I first saw it, and I ended up watching the next two movies as well. So Pokemon, the second movie and the third one. Sorry, I can't remember exactly what they're called. That is a Vespa Queen Reverse Holo. And then the next story is the VHS Titanic, which I actually bought very recently, but the story takes place before the Mewtwo and Mew story. So essentially, in high school, me and my friends got really into playing Age of Empires, and for some reason, me and one of my close friends at the time, who I'm still friends with now, I'd never actually even seen Titanic, but we would play the theme song from Titanic, you know, My Heart Will Go On, just on repeat, over and over and over through like a 6-hour game of Age of Empires. I'm pretty sure the other people on the computers in the room just wanted to destroy us by the end of it. But yeah, I always remember that fondly because it was just really random that we both got really into singing that song when it essentially didn't really have any meaning to us other than the fact that we both enjoyed singing it for some unknown reason. Hey, that time I didn't spoil the code card. So now this is Silver Tempest. And I do still need some of the Trainer Gallery cards from Silver Tempest. So the main one I want is the Rayquaza VMAX and a couple of the other full arts. I think I have all the non-full art cards. Ralts, yay. I like the Ralts Gardevoir line. Ralts, Gardevoir, and sort of Totodile are my favorite Pokemon. That is not a Trainer Gallery card. And that is another non-holo. So the next story is these two together. So I was really into Indiana Jones at the time when I bought these. And you can see that I wrote my own little label, changing it from PG to M, because the original VHS was PG, when that movie actually ended up being M later on in Australia, which is sort of the difference between PG in America, and our M is the equivalent of PG-13, basically, for the Americanos. But at my mum's family's holiday house, because we definitely couldn't afford a holiday house of our own, we had a local video store that wasn't like part of a chain or anything, but they, since this would have been 2007 or 8, they were trying to get rid of all their VHSs, and you could essentially go in and buy any VHS for $2 or so. And yeah, that's where I got these from. Actually it wouldn't be 12 years ago or so, 18 years ago or so. But yeah, I did eventually find a copy of the first one, but since I didn't get it with that initial lot, I didn't include it in the story. But yeah, I loved Indiana Jones as a kid. I did a special schooling class called Com Skills, which was short for communication skills, which was essentially for all the people who were too stupid or rebellious to learn a language. So it was essentially me and just like all the naughtiest, most disruptive people in the entire school. And they didn't really give us a proper curriculum. The only curriculum was that you had to make a project that would last the whole year. And I did my first project on the making of the Indiana Jones trilogy. So yeah, I was really into it at the time. So I used to have a whole book somewhere that was just the Indiana Jones trilogy. That is another non-holo rare. Grim times. We're back to Astral Radiance now. It turns out I had less VHSs than packs, so I'm going to be opening a couple of packs in a row now. I would like to get at least one thing better than a non-holo. That would be cool. Sorry if I accidentally pull something off the camera. I'm not used to using this little tripod with the camera sideways. And to be honest, my shitty cardboard set isn't really built for it either. But yeah, send thoughts and prayers for me pulling something better than a non-holo. I don't think I'm talking to an actual audience when literally no one watches my videos other than myself to check I didn't make a mistake or say something egregious. That is not a Trainer Gallery card. And another non-holo rare. It's looking pretty grim at this point. Guess I won't be seeing a Starmie V Trainer Gallery in my future, which I need because I don't want to buy it. I hate paying pervert prices for cards where the card is just more expensive just because it has an underage girl in a swimsuit on it. You know, it's just kind of gross. But I collect cards with trainers on them, so what you gonna do? Oh, Shinji Kanda. Everyone's been jizzing all over him recently. Any card he puts out, they're like, this is the best new investment ever. Buy the Seismitoad, it has 666 on it, which is why it's popular. Oh, okay. So if that's why it's popular and it's not a pump and dump, then why was the Japanese version not just as expensive when it was out months earlier? Interesting question. Another non-holo rare. Honestly, these packs might be a bit searched. I did buy them loose. They don't seem to be completely cooked, but they might be a little bit cooked. I'll have a look at the wrappers later. And then this is the most significant VHS in the collection. Not because I actually like the movie, but just because it was the copy that I first saw the movie on, that I managed to track down and get back years and years later after being left and lost at that same holiday house. So essentially the story with this one is I went to that same video store years earlier, and they didn't have the DVD then. DVDs were kind of only just starting then, but they were still trying to get rid of VHSs because they could see what was coming. So the guy at the counter said, with this movie, you can either rent it for $3 or you can buy it for $3. And my dad was standing there like, I can't decide. This is tough. And I was like, Dad, just buy it. That means we don't have to worry about taking it back, and then we'll have it forever if we ever want to rewatch it. Obviously, the movie isn't perfect, but I don't know. I have fond memories of watching that with my dad because him sort of showing me each of the Star Wars movies is sort of oddly a sort of a core memory for me as a child. Okay, and then the last 2 packs, and then the final, my first ever Pokemon card, which I got in a theme deck, and I can't really differentiate the rest of the theme deck, but I know that this came from the theme deck because it has the special holo pattern. But yeah, so my girlfriend at the time, she got me into Pokemon cards just playing the game, and she convinced me to buy I think it was a $19 theme deck from EB Games, so that we could play against each other. And then eventually I got into tournaments, and the rest is history. This was in the start of 2015. That's when this happened. I think either Primal Clash was just about to come out or just had came out. I know I missed the Primal Clash pre-release, but I was there for the next one after that. But I'd been playing for a bit by then, so who knows. Well, I'm really all over the place with holding up these cards today. That is another non-holo rare. I don't know, these packs are seeming kind of dodgy. But that's okay. It's the risks you take. They don't... Oh, it's got the line thing. In there. It's interesting. Oh well, maybe it's a bit of like a last pack magic situation where I'll be surprised with an actual good card right at the end. Or maybe I just got the compensatory packs for all those god packs they made by accident for Silver Tempest. But that doesn't really make sense for the Astral Radiance. But yeah, I was hoping to get at least one Trainer Gallery card. Specifically a full art, because I have all the others. Kamiya, nice. I have a friend that collects Kamiya cards, so I try to help them get them. This video is going to be low effort editing, despite all my years of experience editing videos. I'm just doing this for fun, so I'm not putting any effort into editing it. And that is another non-holo rare. That is pretty grim, to be honest. So, being the queer that I was, when my girlfriend got me into Pokemon, I was like, fine, I'll buy this theme deck. And the first Pokemon card I ever purchased, or ever even owned, was this Cracked Ice Holo Pangoro. Pangoro? Why did I think its name was different? Anyway, yeah, so it's obviously a variant card. I mostly just keep it for sentimentality reasons. Surprisingly, it's actually... Oh no, it's pretty cooked. I thought it was going to be actually not that bad. Yeah, it's cooked. One whole side looks like it was nibbled on by a rat. But anyway, that's the full story. We have this nice Cracked Ice Pangoro, first Pokemon card I ever purchased for the first theme deck that I ever played with. Before I built my Primal Groudon deck, and then moving into my eventual deck, which I've played for years until it went out of rotation, was my Mega Camerupt deck. But yeah, that's my first ever Pokemon card from 2015. So obviously haven't been in Pokemon for that long. Thanks for watching. Not that anyone did, but thanks anyway. See ya.